So what's up YouTube? This is Little Gun right here. Today I'm gonna talk about 3 mistakes I made in the States maybe like 7 years back. That was 2012. Soon after I was done with my military shit, and I just decided to study abroad in the States, San Francisco to be exact, the Bay Area. What's up? And at the time I never been abroad before, and my English was terrible, and the only thing I had that back then was confidence to myself. So without any proper preparation, I couldn't help but make a lot of mistakes there, and these are some of the mistakes I made in the States. And then let me share it with you guys. Alright, let's go. So first, for here or to go. If you guys are Korean, so many would relate to what I'm saying right now. Cause for motherfucking 12 more than 12 years of English learning process in school, ain't nobody taught us what that means, and ain't nobody learn it, and this expression wasn't exposed to us, so it's because it's generally like the 100% pure straight English expression, unless you are being there, you're out there in real life, where mother tongue is English. Chances are almost zero that you know about the expression, So I was in a Starbucks. It's my first time being in a Starbucks in the States, and I try to grab a coffee, Americano, and Americano apparently English and Korean Konglish and English at the same time, so it's not a big of a deal. But at the end of the order, the worker asked me for here to go, very very fast, for here to go, like this. So back then, it's my the very first time hearing that expression, and it's something I never expected, from the staff, from the worker, So I just in the back of my mind, I was what the fuck is trying to say, but I knew that so many people making the line behind me, and it was so embarrassing and nervous at the same time. So I was I try to escape the situation right away. So I just told him yes, for here to go, yes, for here to go, yes. This is what I did. This is honestly exactly what I did, and then he was like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with you? That kind of face, And then he's after a couple of times of asking me that questions, he did his thing, And then luckily finally I got the coffee, but because I paid, but I'm it's reminding it up until now makes me kind of embarrassing, and then kind of it gives me goosebumps a little bit, in a bad way. So for those who never learn about the expression, for those who study English only in Korea, you gotta know what for here or to go means. For here or to go is would you eat that inside, or would you take that away? So if you wanna drink or eat inside in a cafe or a restaurant, you just say for here. And if you wanna take that out, take it away. If you packed your food or drinks, you just say to go, and that's it. And they're gonna understand what you're trying to do, later. So yeah, it's my first mistake I made in the States. Still embarrassing, and yeah. So next up, second. Let me see. Snapping in a restaurant. Snapping in a restaurant. I think you guys already already know what I'm trying to say. You know, I guess like few weeks later, I kind of thought I have been adapting myself to the States very well, better than others. So I told myself like, oh, maybe I'm a language genius, because my English level will really go higher really fast, and faster than ever than others, you know. And the teacher complimented me on develop of my English and blah blah blah. So I got like too much of confidence maybe. And then long story short, and I was at a restaurant, and finally I decided what to order, and there was only one waiter in that restaurant, and then he didn't seem to pay kind of like attention to us, to our table. So I thought like he couldn't see me raising my hands like that, like to try to call him. So I unconsciously, like I used to do in Korea, like I snap my finger, and I kind of say like excuse me in a very kind, smooth voice. But but then he saw what I was doing, from the far, and then he kind of like, it was like, he was very upset, he's upset, and I could really, it was easy for me to recognize he got something to tell me, so like, and then he came to our table, and then he said like, oh, you don't need to do it, why you do it, I'm here, just raise your hand. I was very I don't know, what's going on, I didn't have any hint of what I did wrong, what did I do wrong, and he kind of like explained me that like it's only what you do to your puppies or cats, and like basically pets. So I'm not your pet, what I'm saying? So I apologize for that, and then that's when I got to know that the snapping to the waiter in a restaurant, is in a cafe or whatever, it's fucking rude, in the States. So for those who might not know about this rule, just don't do it. Just raise your hand and just wait until the waiter can see you and come to you, right? Just don't make a mistake, and then don't let them generalize Koreans are fucking rude, And third, it's gonna be the last mistake I made in the States. This mistake is very dangerous. It was very dangerous, and it would have been able to put me in a big trouble. Like I told you before, I was too confident to myself in the States, because my English getting really better and better very fast and very quick, and then I like drinking, I like dancing, and then I went clubbing a lot in the States. So and kind of this is one of the things that I had compared to others. It's a unique thing. I mean, this is a weird thing. I mean, walking down the street very late night in the States is considered very dangerous movement and a behavior, right? But to me, I was very young, I wasn't mature enough to know what is right and what was wrong. So me walking down the street late night in the States